And now, coming at you from the 5-Star Physique Studio in Knoxville, Tennessee, this is The Drop Set. With your host, Darren Starr.
Hey everybody, thanks for tuning in. I am Darren Starr, and I'm a full-time online prep coach and have been since 2012. You can check me out at 5starphysique.com and read about my coaching programs, check out workout programs that I have available, read articles, and most importantly, you can click on the podcast button at the top or go straight to thedropset.com to vote on the most recent poll question posted at the top of the page. It is really kind of hard to believe that I've been doing this since December of 2016. But here we are, we're over 200 episodes in, and we're still kicking. It's crazy stuff. Now, this show thrives on and exists only because of you, the listener. So I thank you for being here and also encourage you to contribute your questions and discussion topics. You can email me at darren@5starfitness.com, or more easily, click on contact from 5starphysique.com and submit your question in the form. You can also find me on social media at Darren_Star on Instagram is probably the best way to go there. Please also give a rating, like, thumbs up, review, or whatever is appropriate for whatever platform you're listening to this on. And please share the episodes you like and tag me in your posts. I appreciate it tremendously, and it helps us here reach a bigger audience, which makes it more likely that I can nab higher profile guests for future interviews. So, with that being said, let's get on with it. Hello, everybody. Welcome to episode 218 of The Drop Set. Darren Starr here. Thank you. I just got back from the grocery store and had an interesting encounter, which I think will summarize to everybody out there. If there was any doubt as to like a defining characteristic of my personality, here it is. I'm walking down the aisle. Picture it. Come to the end of the aisle. I need to go 2 aisles over to get to the next thing I'm looking for. Jutting out from the end cap, somebody is set up there with a station, and it's a sample. So it's a sample station. Some woman there who's handing out samples, and she's like accosting passerby, saying, "Do you want this?" Now, I don't even know what it was, right? And it's not like I'm so hardcore on my diet right now. I'm like, no, I can't have that. Nope. And I'm like, well, whatever. That's not it. But it's like, man, I do not want to have even the briefest of social encounters with this person. And I make eye contact with her. I'm like 20 feet away at this point. I'm like, dang it. Oh my God. She saw me. Shit. What do I do now? What do I do? So here is where I stop for a quiz. What did I do? What did I do? Any guesses? What did I do? I'll tell you what I did. I turned my ass around and went all the way down the aisle, went over 2 aisles and came back to where I needed, and I avoided that section like the plague. And there was something that I needed that was behind her. I'm like, nope. It's like the, man down while storming the beach. Nope. Leave him. There's no helping him. Nope. It was like, no, I'm not going back for that. I'll go to Publix for something on the way home instead and get it. Not going there. So part of it is like, yes, I'm a little neurotic. I'm definitely an introvert. I don't like talking to people. Especially like strangers in social situations. Grocery store, good Lord, no. But also like I was just in that mood where it's like, I never want to talk to anybody. Right now, I really, really don't want to talk to anybody. Ooh, man. So, yeah. So anyway, I survived. There's that. This episode, this introductory non sequitur notwithstanding, might be a little brief. I don't have a lot to cover. I want to keep it relatively short, and also I want to try it for YouTube purposes. Hello, everybody in YouTube land. How a shorter video fares. So I might try and keep this episode pared down a little bit. Once again, I don't have a whole lot to talk about. So that's part of it here. Now, I do have, however, a quick reminder. Where is it? My phone number. Everybody needs to call me, 865-518-6569, right? So I had one brave soul call in in the last week or so. And actually, it was a little over a week ago. We missed last week. We've been off for 2 weeks, so we're coming back at it today. One brave soul call in. Thank you, Mark, by the way. So we'll listen to what Mark had to say here momentarily. But I need more. I need more, period. That's it. So the fun part for me is going to be trying to figure out how to make this work, because I'm recording this video live via Zoom. I don't know how to make the audio work, so we're going to guess and roll the dice and hope for the best. Should be interesting. So let's see. Whoa, God, what was that? Oh, okay. My phone is scaring the crap out of me. Can't have that. It's worth a reminder here that it has now been 10 weeks and 1 day since the NPC announced that they were going to be forming a competition committee in response to the series of Washington Post articles that came forth, pretty much indicating that the organization is not capable of self-government. And so they need to have some kind of committee that's, I think the idea would be for them to play an ombudsman kind of role. But it's been 10 weeks, and at this point, the NPC is no longer responding to my emails. So I will go on record right now. I think I've said this in the past. This committee will never happen. It will never happen. Now, NPC, prove me wrong. This is your chance to make me look dumb. I don't really need to be giving you too much help there, right? Come on. There's your chance to make me look stupid. Just make the fucking committee. You need it, okay? You need it. Your organization has major problems. They need to be addressed. You need people who are not involved in the day-to-day operations of the organization, acting as an outside hand, helping you guys make some decisions on how to improve your product. And that's what it comes down to, how to improve the product, how to make it more equitable, how to make it less corrupt. It's a little bit of an accusatory word to throw around, but corruption can happen on many levels. And it can take on many different degrees of, what's the right adjective or noun that I'm thinking of here? Many degrees of intent. Not really the right word. I think you get what I'm going for there. So do it. Let's make it happen. It's been 10 weeks. At this point, there's been no further word of it. The thing was never announced publicly anyway. You sent out an email to people that were on some kind of a mailing list. So you made the intention known and then never said a single word about it publicly. So it seems obvious it's never going to happen, but you had a good idea. Follow through with it. Come on, let's do it. Follow through with it. Jeez. What else do I want to go over here? Probably not too much else, I don't think. Worth mentioning, if anybody ever wants to enter a drug-tested competition and hire me as your coach and figure out what substances you can use and how to get around their drug testing, I'm not the coach for you. I just feel like that needs to be said. I wouldn't think it needed to be said. I would hope there are not coaches out there that would be the coach that somebody might need. I would hope that everybody can agree that you shouldn't do that shit, right? So, but that came up recently. So, no, I am not that guy. So don't ask. And more importantly, don't do it. Don't have the thought to do it. Just no. Drug tested shows are for people that can cleanly pass a drug test. If that's not you, you got plenty of other options. So take them up. All right. Here's what we're going to do. We are going to boldly make an attempt at this thing here. So I suspect what's going to happen here. I'm going to throw on my headphones so I can hear it. I suspect that this audio will not make it onto the recording. And so I'll have to drop it in post-production. So we'll see how this works. This could be hilarious. I don't know. Also, I should check here. Is this working? Okay, yeah. Like, has my mic been on this whole time? I have no idea. I'm running a really sophisticated operation here, people, in case you can't tell. So I know enough. So when you call in to the number, once again, 865-518-6569, call now. when you call into the number, it gives you a greeting, and then you just say your piece. So I get an email saying that somebody has called and left a message. No phone rings. Don't worry. I'm not going to answer it. As evidenced by my grocery store tale, I don't want to talk to you. Okay, nothing personal. I just don't want to talk to you. That's true of everybody. Mom, dad, if you're listening to this, I'm sorry. I don't want to talk to you either. I call you every week. I know. Just know that it's one of the most anxiety-provoking moments of my week, talking on the phone. So it's always fine, but I always have this feeling of anxiety that leads into it. I don't like it. So call in 865-518-6569, leave a message, and it's going to be like this. I get an email. It says, hey, you got a voicemail. I click. I downloaded it. It gives me a transcription of it here. I did not read it other than to say the first part of it says, hey, Darren, it's Mark. And the number comes from Mark, who's a contact on my phone, so it shows up and it has his name here, so I know it's him. But I did not read this. So as I play this, I'm going to be hearing it for the first time. So I don't know what Mark has to say. But we're going to go with it here and see what he's got.
Hey, Darren, it's Mark Rivera calling from Dallas, Texas. I've been thinking a lot about how I approach warming up and what my routine should look like when warming up. So one thing I've heard when creating your warm-up routine is it should be based on your largest compound list on that training day. So if it's bench press, it should revolve around warming up to do that specifically. I'm curious, though, about your thoughts on this. Is that something that you would kind of agree with, or something that you would approach differently? And then how you approach your warm-up sessions in general. Thanks, man. Love the podcast.
Okay. All right. So whether that worked or not, I'll fix it. And so it will seem to everybody as though it did work. And that is the genius of post-production. So thank you, Mark. Appreciate that. I don't think that's a bad approach at all. So if the problem is, what if you have a workout that does not have a properly defined heavy compound lift at all, or to open up? So what are you warming up for then? My goal has always been to have a joint focused warm up that can be done regardless of what the lift of the day is. It's a warm up for me that always happens in a couple of phases as well. So the first thing that I need to do is any kind of assigned physical therapy rehab work. That's just when I decide to do it. I need to do it daily. So I just do it as part of my warm up because it makes the most sense. And it's the one time of day when I know I can get it in. So that's when I do it. So for me, there's some shoulder focused stuff and some hip stretches that I do. The stretches in a perfect world would be put to the end of the workout, but I need them as part of my warm-up just because I'm trying to prevent big problems. So prevent existing issues from getting worse. So static stretching prior to a workout will diminish your strength output, but if you're trying to resolve a problem, diminished strength output is fine. We're also not strength athletes, so diminished strength output isn't really a big concern. We're talking about your top end strength output. So we aren't doing any 1, 3, or 5 rep max lifts here for the most part, so it's pretty irrelevant for us. The first phase for me is the physical therapy phase. And that's pretty much the same every day, regardless of what I'm doing. The second phase is a dynamic warm-up focused on the lift of the day. By lift, I mean body part. So if it's a back day, chest day, shoulder day, those are all pretty much going to have the same warm-up because you're focusing largely on the shoulder joint there. On a back workout, back day, if I have any movements that require self-bracing in some kind of like a flex tip position, think like a barbell row or something like that, I will also warm up the hips a little bit, some body weight squats. I don't worry about the knees too much because they don't need to bear too much load. They're not going through any kind of significant range of motion. So, because I mean, you could just do a thorough total body warm up every day, right? I don't have that kind of time, and I don't assume that my clients have that kind of time either. So we need to be a little bit more efficient than that. So I'm focusing on the joints that I need. Pretty much every day is going to be shoulders for me because my shoulders are problematic. So I do need to do the physical therapy work for them beforehand. And then I'll warm them up before any upper body day. And then also, if I have any leg day where I'm doing any kind of a squat, I'm going to warm up my shoulders there as well because I need to get that horizontal abduction in order to get my hands back to support a bar my back, or even just to grab handles on the hack squat or something like that. Just having shoulders opened up a little bit more is going to make that easier so that I can focus on other stuff and not be thinking like, fuck, my shoulders are tight while I'm trying to do some kind of squat or machine exercise. So I will always warm up the shoulders. I will give them a little less love and attention prior to a leg day, but just enough. Probably just, if nothing else, just some static stretching to the pecs to help try and get that horizontal abduction to open up a little bit. I just realized if you're listening to the audio version of this, you can't see what I'm doing when I say horizontal abduction. Think like, just trying to stretch your pecs out, get your hands back behind you, arms out to the side. So that's the second step, is some kind of series of dynamic movements that are built around the joints in question. So tools for me for upper body would be some kind of a bar. At home, it's great. I mean, I haven't worked out at home since, I don't know, May of 2020. As soon as I went back to the gym post COVID shutdown and reopening, I haven't had another day at home since, and I don't need this anymore. Hold on. Take the headphones off because they make my head feel funny. So I have a piece of aluminum conduit, just a hollow metal tube, super lightweight. Like the whole thing probably weighs 8 ounces, something like that. Very lightweight. So it's basically just a bar that is fixed. It's not like a band that has no structure to it, but it's something you can use for over and backs. Think like this kind of a movement where you have your hands grabbing the thing at some width, fairly wide, and you swing it out in front of you and swing it over your head and kind of stretch your shoulder in that flexed position back behind you with a fairly wide grip. I'll do some other overhead work with it. I will grab something, find something where I can reach up, and like there's a piece of an octagon cage at the gym where I go to that has a horizontal member that I can reach up and grab onto from the floor, and it provides a pretty good stretch, and I just kind of grab onto it and I kind of hang, and I go around in like a circular motion with that hand in a fixed position, because that feels really good and opening up the lat and the pec and the delt a little bit. But it's all just, stuff that goes around that particular joint. I don't worry too much about elbows. I will do a little bit on arm day, but I find that my elbows don't need too much, greasing of the skids, as I might say, before working in order to feel good and to feel productive. Lower body, the primary tool that I will use is a box. That is one of those boxes that's not a cube, but it's a rectangle, so you can flip it on one of 3 sides to get 3 different heights. I'll use that as a way to kind of plant my foot and stretch out the glutes and the hamstrings, but kind of like foot up and then like lean into it, lean back, lean into it, lean back. I will do some hip swings. My hip mobility is crappy, so that doesn't do much for me. Stretch out the adductors with a static stretch. That's part of my PT routine. And what else? Body weight squats, some lateral lunges, and you're just going for static holds, that kind of stuff. So a joint focused, and that's like regardless of what the exercises are for the day. Like I don't let that really play into my focus for phase 2. Phase 3, the final phase, is you go to your first exercise and you got some warm-up sets. So that's where you start the targeted warm-up for the specific exercise that you're going to be doing. Now, if you're going in and like it's legs and your first exercise is a leg extension, you don't necessarily need to. You don't want to come in with all guns blazing and go in like, okay, max weight, baby, let's go. I mean, you're going to piss off your knees pretty bad if you do that. But I would say, a couple of easy, quick warm-up sets there, that's sufficient. And then if your next exercise is a squat, probably a couple warm-up sets there as well. If your first exercise is a compound, I would put 3 or 4 decent warm-up sets in there. And then kind of, get used to the mechanics, like, okay, wait, how am I cueing myself on this movement here? Brace the core down. Okay, we're here. Go super, super lightweight to start. Work up. You're not doing long sets either. Like if you're working for like a 10 rep target for your working sets, I'll usually do an opening set, like if it's a squat, like just an empty bar for 15 to 20 reps. And then I'll start loading it up, and I might only hit 5 or 6 reps. You want to put the body through the range of motion. You want to get the muscles warmed up, but you don't want to necessarily fatigue yourself tremendously at those lower rep at those lower weight sets, just because you want to save yourself for the working sets to some extent, right? You want to get warmed up. You don't want to spend too much energy too quickly out of the gate before you really get into a reasonable weight. So that's my approach for warming ups. 3 phases: PT, and if you're young enough and healthy enough that you don't need that PT phase, lucky you, and also screw you. I say that with love, of course. And then phase 2 would be the dynamic warm up, which is fairly universal. And then phase 3 is the practical applied warm up, which is going to be exercise specific based on what you're doing. And if you do have a compound opener, great. Spend some time on some warm up sets there. If your compound movement is second or even third, planning on doing a couple of warm up sets, even if you've done a warm up set or 2 or 3 for any exercises that came before as well. So that would be highly recommended. So thank you, Mark. Appreciate that. Let's go ahead. Let's go here. And so I can delete Mark's voicemail. So there, you see how it works. See how harmless that was? So Mark didn't have to talk to me. I know he doesn't want to talk to me, right? So all good, man. All good. So call in 865-518-6569. Let me know what's on your mind. Last order of business here, and then we're going to cut this short. I told you it was going to be a short episode. Here you go. There is a poll up at thedropset.com. There's a new poll. Let's talk about the old poll first. I had a whopping, oh my God, 4 votes. You audio listeners right now, you can't see it, but I'm staring at the camera for the YouTube audience, just really letting my disappointment come through to the camera. 4 votes. Oh my God. 4 votes. Sad. That's sad. Now, it's on me. I did a terrible job promoting it, obviously. So we're going to try. Here's the goal for this next poll. I want to get 5. If I can get 5, before you know it, we're going to have 10,000. Before you know, that'll be long after I'm dead probably, but that's the goal. 10,000, not me being dead. So the last poll, did Hadi Chupan deserve to win the Olympia? It was unanimous. All 4 of you said yes. So great. Let me know who you are, and then we'll get together and have a party and we'll talk about it. So the goal is, I want to get everybody who votes on the poll to the point where we can't all fit in a room to talk about it. That's really the first goal, not 5. I want to get more than a room's full of people. Here is the question today. Why do you train when you do? And this might be worth a call to elaborate as well. I think this could be an interesting discussion point. So the choices are, again, why do you train when you do? And I'm talking about time of day. Option 1, choice. Option 2, forced to by your job. Option 3, forced to by your family. Or option 4, forced to by other. So, do you train when you do because you have to because of your job, or you have to because of family commitments, or due to commitment from something else, or no, I train when I want to because that's when I want to go, and I move things around to make it fit. So again, no right or wrong answer here. Just curious. I want to get the pulse of the public. So that is it. With that, I'm going to close up shop. So this is short. This is a brief episode. Again, I don't really have anything else. Oh, we got to talk about Taz. Oh my God. Where is he? He's not around, which is fine. I wouldn't put him on camera because it would freak y'all out probably. So he had his eye removed on Tuesday. His left eye got pulled out. For long story, if you've been following along on Instagram in my story there, I've been kind of keeping people up to date on it there. I won't, I'll spare you all the literal gory details here, other than to say he finally had it taken out. It was definitely causing him some pain because within a day you could tell he felt so much better. So he does look kind of scary right now. So there is that. So but the doctor said 8 weeks and his fur will have grown back, and he'll look somewhat normal, at least as normal as a dog with one eye can look. So I look forward to that day, because right now it looks a little rough, but he's doing great. And so that's the left eye. It's gone. They wouldn't give me an eye patch, so I'm a little bummed about that. But his right eye now, we've got his medication protocol for that is a little simpler, and so we're following that and hope to keep that right eye happy and healthy for a long time still. So that is it, y'all. So I appreciate you hanging with me for this brief episode 218. Give me a call, 865 518-6569. Discuss what's on your mind. Talk about the poll question. Talk about favorite foods, favorite exercises, questions. Call me out. Say, Darren, you're a piece of crap, and this is why. Like I said last episode, I am in no position to start filtering these things. So whatever it is, I'm not even going to listen to it before I play it on here. So this is your chance to get past the censors. If ever you wanted to do that, now is your chance. You know, I was planning on just closing out with that, and then I couldn't find the stop button on my recording thing. Here it is. I found it. Okay, so let's try that again. Episode 218. Signing off. Man, this is weak. God, I gotta work on this shit.